Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to 302 Sports Weekly. It's been a while since we've seen you last, and we're winding down the time. Only a few more shows left here at the Buffalo Wild Wings, and we're back at the Christiana location here tonight. I'm Pat Garanis, alongside me, Nick Alessandrini. Nick, feels good to be back up north. Feels good to be back with the show.
Oh, absolutely. We were setting up earlier, and we had a hard time figuring out, like Jay and Mike were talking about, where to put everything or where the tables go. But we're back. We're happy to be back, and a great show to recap a great year here, Pat.
Absolutely. Tonight's going to be a spring playoff and championship recap show, and here to break down the games and some of the action that we saw over the past few weeks. As always, Mike Lang, Jason Winchell. Fellas, how you doing?
Doing great.
Good
to be back up here.
Absolutely.
Not only did we didn't know where the tables went, it took us over an hour to get here from Claymont.
How about that, man?
But we're here.
A 12-mile drive took over an hour.
It's incredible out
Wednesdays.
there. You never know what can happen
Hump
out there
days,
on the
I'll
roads.
tell
But talk about the playoff schedule. A lot. Mother Nature got involved. They got
Yeah.
pushed back here, that, and the other. But after an exhausting time, we got our champions crowned. Talk a little bit about, is this the most unique? You guys have been around the scene a little longer than me and Nick have. Have you seen anything like this as far as a championship season, as far as, you know, the weather affecting it this much?
There's always rainouts.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing with the lacrosse getting pushed to last Wednesday was probably Thursday. Yeah, it was supposed to be Wednesday. And then
Yeah, it was another
between
Wednesday.
graduations and baccalaureates and rain, the threat of rain, and it didn't rain. It was kind of weird, but ended up with a beautiful night at Cesar Rodney and great lacrosse. What a beautiful facility they have down there at CR. It was awesome. It was a great game.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, we're going to hop into this,
Dive right in, right?
you know, and exactly, we're going to, like we said, recap the spring sports season and all the state tournaments that happened in the past 3 weeks. We'll also announce our preliminary voting results for next week's Fan Choice Awards show. Before we break down the state tournaments, do you guys have a game or a play that kind of stood out to you over the spring that takes the regular season into effect as well?
It's a lot of games.
For me, it was the soccer game between Padua and Caravel.
Okay. That's an epic battle.
You know, both end up winning their respective division championships. Caravel with the undefeated season and the win over Padua that day, thanks to the play of their defense and Sydney Keld. A Summer Stewart goal early in the game was the difference. That was probably one of the best goals I've seen all year. I mean, she placed it where no one else could have placed that ball, and Caravel walked out with the 1-0 win. In fact, when me and Mike were driving back up from the soccer championships, we wished there was a Division I, Division II extra game to see those two go at it again, because that was a special game.
A lot of games. I went to a lot of games this spring. So, really, I'm thinking of some of these softball games. I look at a team like DMA, and they beat Smyrna in the regular season. Obviously, they didn't win the state championship. Smyrna ended up winning. But the DMA softball team, they beat everybody. Unfortunately for them, couldn't get it done. But there's a lot of young players in that team. I expect them to be making noise in softball over the next few years. But I know you have a cousin on the team, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a darn good team there at DMA.
Absolutely. So, Nick, why don't we hop right into it, man? Let's start off with our first championship of the spring.
Yeah, so we get it started here with girls lacrosse, and our final here, Cape Henlopen, the number 1 seed, beats Archmere, the number 2 seed, 15-8. So, Jay, I'll start with you. Just talk a little bit about the girls lacrosse season, kind of what expectations were, and how everything played out between Cape and Archmere in the playoffs.
Well, I think the season kind of went as expected. Cape Henlopen, your 10-time champions coming in. They leave with their 11th straight title. They're just so dominant. Speed, agility, great goaltending. And they just dominated everybody, even in the postseason. I mean, they were the team, and they showed it all state tournament long.
Absolutely, and Mike, you can see the scores up on the screen of the tournament. What are some of the highlights that you kind of saw? There's a lot of high scoring. There was a few upsets here or there. What kind of stood out to you during the tournament?
So two things, and because I see a lot of the Catholic schools, they're both Catholic school related, but not necessarily picking them because of that. Padua reached the semifinals for the first time, and to get there, they beat Tower Hill on the road, which is not easy. And Tower had beaten them by 10 during the regular season. Padua came back and won by, I believe, a goal in that quarterfinal round.
12-11.
12-11, and so that was really good for Padua. They're not losing a whole lot quantity-wise. They're losing two really good goal scorers and a good keeper, Amy Cathers. Also, Archmere getting to the final for the first time. I know it didn't go their way. They had to play Cape, and that Cape team, they play together year-round. But I saw a lot of Archmere games. I got to know the girls real well. So it felt, for me, I felt good for them to get it to the finals. They had a great season, and it just didn't go their way in the final, but great season for the Hawks.
And Jay, just a final thought here on the girls lacrosse season and maybe some players you're looking forward to getting a chance to see again next year.
Yeah, the final thought on the girls' lacrosse season, Mike touched on it earlier, but one of the upsets of the tournament was that Padua beat Tower Hill, a team they lost to by 10 in the regular season. They came back. Their face-off specialists played the whole game injured, dominated the face-off, and then they get a goal in the last minute of the game to seal the victory. Players to watch. I'm going to go to public school, Brandywine and Concord.
Okay.
Paxton Gregg from Concord, face-off specialist, good goal scorer for Concord. She'll be back. And then Desiree Nomore from Brandywine. Excellent season, just a sophomore, so she'll be back for 2 more years. She's already getting, she didn't play lacrosse until her freshman year in high school, and she's already becoming one of the top players in the state. She got second team in the Blue Hen Conference, so good. I expect good things from her next year.
There we go.
We give you a couple
what do you got,
non-public school players, and just we're going to even it out here a little bit. Enough just to do it here from Padua, Ava Ruggieri, who's a big goal scorer. She's going to have to fill the holes left by Rachel Dellett and Jordan Bramble's graduations. And then also from St. Andrews, Halea Sulati, a goal scoring machine for the Saints. And they quietly get into that tournament every year. And there are not a lot of people paying attention to St. Andrews, but Halea Sulati is a hell of a player, heck of a player, and someone to watch again next year.
Absolutely. So, a couple players to keep an eye on for next year. As a recap, congratulations to Cape Henlopen on their 11th consecutive Girls Lacrosse State Championship. We're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we're going to see if the Henlopen boys were going to be able to sweep the sport of lacrosse for Cape Henlopen after this here on 302 Sports Weekly.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroup.re.com. The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
And welcome back inside 302 Sports Weekly. Nick Alcedrini, Pat Garianis, Mike Lang, and Jason Winchell here for our spring sports recap show. We just got done checking out the Cape Henlopen Girls State Champions. But did the guys do the same? Did they pull off the sweep, Pat? Well, they did indeed. Cape Henlopen, the boys, they wanted to. So a back-to-back or both championships coming to Cape Henlopen. Jay, just talk about the sweep for a second and how incredible that is to pull off a win in both men's and girls sports there.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And normally when you come in, they're Sally's is the favorite
Absolutely.
in lacrosse. So to pull that off, they beat them, and to beat them in the regular season, which is a rarity, and then beat them in the finals. In fact, it was the first in-state loss in the regular season for Sally since 2006.
It's insane.
So, Kate did it, beat them both twice this year. That's a feat. And we said they had a lot of seniors on that team, and so they knew that this was going to be the year where they would have had to beat Sally's, and they did, not only in the regular season, but in the state championship game.
And Jay, just one more question quickly. Give everyone, you had a prediction before the game of a score. Tell everyone your prediction and what happened.
I just, since I wasn't down there, I figured I'll predict the game. I had Kate 13, Sally's 10.
Oh, boy.
And it was 12-10, so I was very close.
Yeah.
But after seeing the tweets from the first half when it was 4-3, at halftime I said, I'm going to be nowhere near.
Taking
So and they picked it up a little bit in the second half.
Absolutely. And, Mike, just looking at, obviously, we've had the scores flash up on the screen throughout the segment. There were a couple of surprises maybe in there, here or there. Obviously, the championship game, not so much of a surprise, but if you look at the last few years, it was. What surprised you the most as far as the tournament in overall, as far as the game is concerned?
This big surprise is that they play is weather related more than anything else.
Yeah.
You go to that Cape Henlopen Archmere semifinal. We get down to Caravel. They start the game. Then they have a 90-minute delay in the middle of the game.
Lightning everywhere as we're standing up there.
Caesar Rodney and Sally's are both there at Caravel. CR is out stretching behind the stadium. Sally's never got off the bus, and they finally told them just to turn around and go home.
Yeah.
Then they got delayed like 2 more times. They finally ended up playing that game. And then another delay, weather-related, for the final. So that was kind of goofy. On the field, what really stood out to me was in the second round, Tatnall and Archmere. Archmere scores. Archmere and Sanford. Archmere scores with 9 seconds left for the 1-goal win over Sanford. And then Caesar Rodney, the 10th seed, took out number 2 Tatnall in overtime up in Hocassin, or in Greenville, rather.
Yeah.
So that was that game really stood out. CR making it back to the semis as a 10 seed. Good on you, Riders.
Absolutely. There were some great performances, and Mother Nature just couldn't seem to get out of the way for lacrosse. Now, Jay, Mike, when we look back at the season, what were some things that really kind of stood out to you? Maybe a final thought on boys lacrosse, and is there any underclassmen that we should be keeping an eye out for going into next year?
I'll leave the underclassmen for Mike. I'll take a recap of the season kind of. My final thought was that we saw some unknowns finally get back in the lacrosse community this year. Tatnall, who back when it first started, Tatnall was winning every year behind the Burgers, who went on and played for the Wings, To see them get a 14-1 regular season was incredible. Sanford, 14-1 in the regular season, a school you're not used to seeing. Middletown, I know they struggled late in the year, but they were 13-0 after their first 13 games. Normally you don't think of Middletown lacrosse. Smyrna had a great season. So all these teams that you normally don't see good in lacrosse all had great seasons. So my final thought is, hey, maybe these teams can keep it up and stay up in that upper echelon and try and compete with the Cape Henlopen, Sally's, and CRs and Archmeres that are up there every year.
All right, I'll give you the underclassmen to watch, and I agree about the teams that you don't usually hear about. It's good to see those teams in these independent conferences, especially. And you mentioned Smyrna, some of those other teams. Good to see them. So some underclassmen to watch. First off, an attacker, Jack Murray from Wilmington Charter. Guy's a sniper, and he's got a lot of talented kids in that charter team. So look out for Jack Murray. On defense, you've heard this name before from Archmere, Connor Udovich. That's a name you guys probably know. Another in the Udovich clan at Archmere. He's a freshman. He was a freshman this year and was outstanding as a defender in lacrosse. Also, he'll be on varsity football next year, I guarantee it. And also in goal, coming back, the dude's a stud. Baxter Travers from Cape Henlopen. He's outstanding. We're going to see him later on.
A tease for later.
And what I found out from Baxter's dad, I took some pictures at the championship game. He's a creature of habit. Always wears sweatpants, even though it was pretty dang hot last week down at CR. And wears a watch while he's playing goal.
That's
so,
great, yeah.
Hey, you know what? They won a state
All the great
championship.
ones
So
got
Baxter,
stuff like that,
you do
right?
whatever you want, buddy. But there you go, 3 guys to look forward to next year.
Absolutely.
And that wraps up our boys lacrosse season. Cape Henlopen, they nabbed both titles, the girls and the boys. Congratulations to both of those teams. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the girls soccer championships right here on 302 Sports.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor.
He began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2000.
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to 302 Sports Weekly. It's our spring recap show here at the Buffalo Wild Wings Christiana location. Now we're going to look at the girls soccer state tournament. We saw first here, guys, both championships being played at the same time in the same city, Dover, but on 2 separate fields. Interesting stuff going on there. We're going to start with the D2 tournament. First round, obviously, the scores are now up on your screen. In the final, we saw a familiar team there, a team that has been not only atop of our 302 sports rankings, but the overall rankings in the country. Eventually a nationally ranked team, this Caravel Buccaneers team. Jay, Mike, how impressive was this team from start to finish?
Undefeated season, including a win over Padua. So that they do have bragging rights there. So I would love to see that matchup again. They didn't give up any goals all year. I mean, until the end of the year, they didn't give up anything all year. Sydney Keld. And you know what makes Sydney Keld special? Is she's tall. So some of the goals that we're going to see later on top plays, Sydney Keld makes those saves because she can get up that high and grab the ball. She was incredible this year. But Caravel, this was their best year offensively, I thought, with Summer Stewart, Caitlin St. Ledger. They had multiple goal scorers. They were just impressive, undefeated season, and it concludes with another state championship for Caravel. I believe that's 4 in the last 5 years since they've gone Division II, both divisions. So Caravel's a soccer power to be recognized.
Should mention the team they beat, Tower Hill, their 3rd straight year in the final.
Yeah.
So there was 2 powerhouse teams in that game.
Now, one team I think that we should pay attention to is Newark Charter and how they got there. They win in overtime against Archmere. They make a semifinal appearance as the 7 seed. How impressive were the Patriots, I believe is what they're called, right?
They are the Patriots.
Yeah. How impressive were the Patriots this year?
Well, that's a good conference. That Diamond State. You have Archmere in Division II. DMA was usually a really good team. And Wilmington Charter also in there as a Division I team. So, and then MOT Charter had a decent season. They're playing a good schedule to get them ready. But that school has really, come a long way overall in athletics. And you mentioned the soccer team. I mentioned they have an 8th grader named Ava Siriaco, who was one of their better goal scorers. So they're not going anywhere. Better get used to the Patriots being a factor in Division II.
Absolutely.
And that being Division 2. So now we'll take a look over at Division 1. And Jason, you already talked a little bit about them. Padua, they eventually become your champions. They beat Wilmington Charter 4-1. Talk a little bit about the Pandas, their season, and just how they accomplished what they did.
Well, Padua lost for the first time 2 regular season games to in-state teams, to Caravel and Wilmington Charter. The Wilmington Charter won in overtime earlier in the year. So, I mean, they bounced back and do what Padua normally does. But what was key, I thought, was they buried their chances the second time they played Wilmington Charter. The first time, Mike can talk about because he was there, he thought Padua just could not finish. He thought they outplayed Charter, had more of the quality chances, but just could not find the back of the net. Here they did, and it helped that they got a goal, and it was 1-0. They got a goal in the final minute of the first half to get that extra goal into the halftime lead, which was important because Charter scores early in the second half to cut it 2-1, and then Padua gets 2 more. So, and you know what, Nick? Both soccer finals 4-1 this year.
Wow. Some trends. We're seeing some trends here this year.
Absolutely. And now, looking ahead, and let's talk a little bit like we have been, right? Let's give a final thought on what we saw in the girls' soccer.
Is the building on fire?
I don't know. It's always a concerning sound. It is. You're not kidding. But talk a little bit about your final thought, and then also give some players to watch for next year.
So here, my final thought is it kind of soccer what we expected, but there's a lot of young talent out there, and I know Mike's going to name a few later. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go Caitlin Smith, Tower Hill, the 8th grader, scored all their goals in the postseason. All of them.
Wow.
They scored 6 goals. She scored all 6 of them. 8th grader. It does not look like an 8th grader, and she's an athletic kid who also had a fantastic season on the basketball court. So I can't wait to see her play in both basketball and soccer next year. But just an impressive stuff from an 8th grade talent to score all their goals in the postseason, including the one in the championship game against Caravel, and Sydney Kell, who we said is
unbelievable
hard to score on.
Mike?
So what am I thinking? I like Padua's resiliency. They lost to Caravel. That was a legit win for Caravel. They played very, very well, and they lost to Wilmington Charter that day out of Charter. Charter took advantage of their chances, and Padua did not. And you knew that was going to. And I talked to the girls after the game. You knew it was on their mind, and it wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to let it happen again. They came out. And they just really controlled the game. I want to say this about the setup with the 2 games at the same time. I didn't think I was going to like it because I like to watch both games, and I still like to watch both games. Obviously, calling the game, Jason and I couldn't sit and watch the other one, but I thought it worked out well. I think it's something the DIAA should consider keeping. I know they did it a lot because of the weather, and they had some baseball that night, and but I thought it was great. Dover's a fantastic facility.
Yeah.
So I think the DIAA gets criticized a lot. I think they deserve a lot of credit for the solution. And you could stand on one bleachers and turn around and watch whatever game you wanted to. So that was kind of different, and I thought it was good.
Absolutely. So there you have it.
I want to give you I'm going to drag on it. I'm going to give you players to watch.
Oh, yeah,
Not a lot of explanation. These are underclassmen to watch. Maddie Shepard, St. Mark's, set the single-season goal-scoring mark, breaking her sister's record, Hannah Shepard. So Maddie Shepard, she was a freshman this year, and she was awesome. Down at Sussex Tech, Lily Short got hurt, missed the playoffs, but she's a goal-scoring machine. Erin Apostolico from Mount Pleasant used to go to Padua, transferred up to Mount, really makes the Green Knights more of a factor. I like her to have a big senior season. I think she's a senior next year. Ryan Mundy, the freshman from Wilmington Charter, who we'll see later on, and Jada McCullough from Cesar Rodney, back at Cesar Rodney, and had a really good season. She's only a sophomore, so Jada, we'll see you next year.
Absolutely. There you have it. That'll wrap it up, Nick, for girls soccer.
need a breath.
Tremendous season. Yeah, tremendous season. Congratulations once again to Padua and to Caravel. I guess Caravel can kind of run around with the bragging rights after the season.
Unless they want to play again. They want to meet somewhere and play. That'd be okay, too.
That'd be awesome.
That would.
But that'll do it. When we come back, we're going to take a look into the softball world in their state tournament as Smyrna after their state championship. Will they repeat? We'll find out. Obviously, you probably already know at home, but for the sake of the show, we're going to keep it a secret. We'll be right back after this.
Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus: wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822. And welcome back inside 302 Sports Weekly. Now we're heading over to the softball field here.
Don't
Get
fear
it
the
out
Reaper.
there. Yeah. But you do want to fear the Smyrna Eagles because they go back-to-back state champs. Jay, two very tough games for them, the semifinals and the state championship. Both one-run victories. They do it twice. How'd they do it? And talk a little bit about Smyrna.
Well, it all starts in the circle with Peyton Dixon. She was incredible, but to me, the game against DMA where they lost in the regular season, and she gave up a bunch of runs in that regular season game. She holds DMA to 1 run in the semifinal game, and then holds that Caravel offense that was dominant during the postseason to 0 runs. I mean, what a nicely job by her. Smyrna gets a key hit in that first inning, and it held on for the win. So I mean, to me, pitching in softball is the difference, and there Peyton Dixon is the key for Smyrna this year.
Absolutely, that's the thing. My dad, he was coaching at St. E's for a while. He said that. He goes, if you got a pitcher, half the time you don't even need to have a great defense or a great lineup. Pitching is the key in softball. There's no doubt about that. And Peyton Dixon put on a performance, including the no-hitter in the second round, and in that win against St. George's. Mike, talk a little bit about the tournament as a whole. But I mean, Dixon, you can't overlook that performance.
No, you can't. So I like in the first round, number 12 Wilmington Charter. It's number 5 Apple, and we always say be wary of that number 5, number 12 matchup. Yeah. And it really came in. Charter came in, and then Charter went and won again. So they ended up making the semifinals, which was it's good to see one of the lower seeds. That's a good team.
Yeah.
Of course, I remember Taylor Gillis making that play that ended up all over the country.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of seen. But you mentioned pitching. Here's some numbers from the tournament. 15 tournament games, the losing team scored a total of 20 runs. And 10 of those came from 2 teams in the first round. Dover lost 13-6, and Middletown scored 4 runs in their loss. That's 10 of the 20 runs. So in 13 games, there were a grand total of 10 runs. Caravel gave up just 2 runs in the postseason. Smyrna gave up 2 runs in the postseason. So it's pitching, it really is. And it's really about your pitching. But I love to watch softball. The game moves so fast, and it's just to watch the excitement on the girls' faces. I have daughters, so I know and I coached softball for a long time. To see the emotion is awesome, and it was great to see. I just wish the game. Roxanne is a beautiful facility. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Absolutely. But Jay, looking at really the big upset throughout the tournament was Wilmington Charter. This is a team who's been there the last few years, ranked a little bit higher typically than they were this year, but the Force, they put together quite a program over the past couple of years.
Yeah, they're a real talented team. They play in that tough time in state conference, which you had DMA who ran the tables, knew our Charter 13-5 in the regular season. So Wilmington Charter had a fantastic year, but we're seated 12th because softball is a totally different point system.
Yeah.
But they got in the playoffs and they take care of Appo, who, by the way, was 17-1 in the regular season.
Unbelievable.
And then they took care of Sussex Tech, who was 16-2 in the regular season. So they beat two teams that were combined 33-3 regular season records. So, and then they got to Caravel and their magic kind of ran out. Savannah Sheets was awesome all tournament long. She held their bat, and then the Caravel bats just exploded in that Wilmington Charter game. But what a run for the Force, and it just shows you that sometimes seedings don't matter. You just go out there and play the game, and especially in softball.
And that's what made it such a great year this year, is you had 5 teams that could, win it this year. 4 or 5 teams that were good all year long, very good teams. And Mike, just give us a final thought on the softball season, anything that stood out to you, and maybe anything we should look for next year.
Well, Smyrna loses 7 seniors, so you think they're going to take a hit, and I'm sure they will, but then you look at the underclassmen on that team, and they just have so much coming back. It's unbelievable. Just a couple, Alexis Moore, Julia Thor, just 2 of the names. You're going to hear a lot of those names over the next couple of years, so it'll be interesting to see how Smyrna does. And I just wish people would get out and watch more softball. I mentioned how the game's very fast-paced, and the games take an hour and a half, usually tops. And a lot of times they play at 3:45, and not everybody can hop out of their office like me and go watch a game. So, but if you have a chance, and get out there and support these kids, it's so much fun. There's a lot of high-level softball being played here in Delaware, and I think not enough people are seeing it, but it's some awesome stuff.
Absolutely. Do we got any underclassmen or maybe some teams to watch going
I'll do
into
the
next year?
underclassmen. I want to skip Peyton Dixon because, sorry, Peyton, we're already watching you. So, so let's go to. We're all watching her.
Well, I'll throw her in there.
So let's.
Just so she's mentioned, she doesn't want to feel slighted.
Yes.
Morgan Baumhart from Indian River. She's been around a couple of years. A really good player. Not everybody sees. Autumn Booth from Delmar. And Delmar, they're pretty supportive down there, and they should be. Taking over full-time pitching for Caravel, Carly Maxon, an 8th grader, and that girl is brilliant. So keep an eye out for her. Also, I'm going to go with Mackenzie Sweeney, St. Elizabeth's Pat. She was she's the catcher, and she's really good. I know St. E's doesn't get the pub that some of the other teams does, but Mackenzie's really good. And then I'll go to we go to Appo, Madison Bowerly. I know a lot of people know about Madison, but I wanted to throw an Appo player in there, and she's really good. So there's a whole ton of them. I got a list a mile long, but I can't get you all in there, so that's what I'm going. Jason will give some teams, I know.
I believe we saw Madison in that home run derby.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Which was a great event, by the way. Also,
Fantastic.
the first year I think they did that. So
Yeah,
hopefully they'll continue to do that.
That was cool. That was a cool event. I'm glad to see. But yeah, some teams to watch, definitely Smyrna, DMA. It'd be interesting to see Caravel. They lose a lot of their offensive talent. Like Mike said, they'll bring him back an 8th grade pitcher who got some experience this year. But it's going to be hard to replace Savannah Sheets, who showed come tournament time how good she was in the circle. So they might take a hit. Delmar is a team from downstate to watch, along with Smyrna.
Absolutely. So there we have it. Softball all wrapped up. Congratulations once again to Smyrna Eagles with back-to-back state titles for them. When we come back, we're going to look to the baseball side. We're going to shift to the Big Diamond, where we had our first undefeated champion since 1999. We'll check that out after the break.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvement's pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust. And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. 302 Sports Weekly here at the Buffalo Wild Wings in the Christiana location. And we talked about it. We hyped it up a little bit before the break, Nick. Appoquinimink baseball program finishes off the perfect undefeated season, 22-0. The first undefeated state championship since
1999 St. Mark's Spartans.
Had to let you do it. The Sparty. And before
Partying
that,
like it's 1999.
Before that,
Yeah.
and before that, Jay.
1989, Sussex Central Golden Knights.
Oh, there you go.
About that, man.
So if the year ends in a 9, somebody's
Well,
going to
the
round
other
the
one was
table
a
win it
6.
all.
1976,
Oh,
Louisiana.
But,
Way to ruin. We're good there.
but Nick, 2009, we didn't see it happen. And guess who won the state championship that year? St. Mark's.
Right as I
wild.
got there, it's my freshman year. I was probably at that game.
I was going to say, did you play?
But now, I did not play. I did
Okay.
not play. I wanted to let everyone else get the ring. I had gotten a couple. I said, you guys can go get yours. I'll still, I'll watch from the sideline.
Yeah.
But now we can focus on this year's undefeated state champion, the Appoquinimink baseball program. We had the luxury of having them on our show not too long ago, right before the playoffs started. We got a chance to see how focused they were. Jay, take us through Appo's season and what you saw from them and how they were able to pull this off.
Well, they just had a dominant season. Let me tell you how tough it is in the playoffs, right? They get to the playoffs. They get in the quarterfinals and they get Sussex Tech. Pitcher's duel, 0-0 after 7 innings. They finally pull through, get a walk-off, called a double, even though it went over the fence because they celebrated the team after the first run scored. So they get by that. Then they get to the semifinals, and who's awaiting Cape Henlopen, last year's defending champion, who, by the way, picked it up and came on strong this season. They get out to a 2-0 lead. A little controversial in that game, but Appo squeaks through, and then they get to the championship game, and Joey Davis was not Davis. Especially with his command early, but the catch was the difference in it. I mean, he throws out a couple runners. They do not score any runs, and they get out with the win. But it just shows you that they had a dominant regular season. But when it got tournament time, they could have went out in the quarterfinals. They could have went out in the semifinals, and then even in the finals, when they weren't playing their best stuff, they had enough to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, to your point, Mike and I did the game with you, and 9 of the first 12 batters get on base for Caravel in that championship game.
Nobody scored.
And no one scored.
It's not like Caravel, but they had a couple base running errors, and Appo made some defensive plays that they had to make. You mentioned Gabe Dermott, the catcher. And,
Unbelievable.
hey, they deserved to win. They had a great season. They were a lot of fun to watch. I saw them shut down a few teams this year. A lot of talent on that team. And a great job by Mike Torres, the rookie coach.
Yeah. And looking into the tournament, outside of Appoquinimink's impressive run, what really kind of stood out to you? Maybe a team or a specific performance throughout the baseball state tournament. Always good performances going on in that one. What do you have a player, a moment, a game that stood out to you?
Mine is DMA. Taking care of Newark Charter in the second round. Newark Charter, the 3 seed in the tournament, had a fantastic regular season. That first playoff game, they get a rival, DMA.
Yeah.
A team they beat in regular season. Matthews just struggled a little bit with his control, and DMA got the lead and never looked back. A great win for that DMA program against the 3 seed in Newark Charter. To me, that just showed you that sometimes just throw out those regular season records and those first encounters, because when it comes playoff time, it comes down to who makes more plays. And that day, DMA took advantage of Matthew's wildness.
Yeah, so Coach Aaron Lewis getting the boys ready over there.
Game that stands out for me, it's a first round game that is kind of going to be a footnote in this tournament. It was Concord and AI DuPont. It was the last game of the tournament. Yeah, because of weather, they played a day after everybody else was done. AI was leading pretty much the entire game. Concord got a big home run from John Ford. There's no fence at Concord, so the ball still
had that on top plays.
Yeah, it's not only that was in there, but it is on our website, right, Nick?
It's
on.
top
Okay,
plays.
never mind.
No, yeah, come on back a couple weeks ago.
It was, and there was AI made a great play to cut down a run at home plate, and then Concord came back there. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th to win off a great pitcher. Joe Orsini had a great year for AI, but Concord was able to come back, never gave up, and they scored to go to the second round. Unfortunately, that's where their run ended, but that was a great win for the Raiders, and a great vantage point. You can sit in the football bleachers there and watch the game from up top, which was awesome. But it was a great game. That was my favorite game of the baseball tournament. Was AI and Concord. Loved it.
And Jay, just now one final thought on the baseball season as a whole. Anything that stood out to you overall, or anything to look forward to next year? Underclassmen, teams, anything like that?
To me, there were so many good teams this year. Remember at the beginning of the year, I said this tournament was wide open. And I know Appa went undefeated and took home the championship, but even getting to the championship game, they had some great games, real hard-fought victories. Slasianum had their best season in a while. Teams like St. Mark's couldn't beat a team in the top 10, which is unlike St. Mark's, but they still finished with 12 wins. It just shows you how talented baseball is in Delaware, and it's great to see a lot of talent here, a lot of great games, and the postseason lived up to it. There was a lot of close games, especially in the first and second round, as the tournament moved forward, and it's good to see.
Mike, what are we looking like going into next year with some of this talent coming back? Year in and year out, there seems to be really great baseball talent, as Jason alluded to.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked. I got a little short list. Oh, wait, wrong page. I didn't write them down. I'm in trouble now. So you're looking at some underclassmen. Now I'm on, because I didn't write these things down.
Jay, you can help.
I'll give you one.
You give me one. I'll think of one.
I'll give you one. Trip Keister, Caravel. Outstanding.
You mean Kevin Keister.
Kevin Keister.
Giving the pop.
Trips made the comeback.
Who's managing, I think, in the
AAA or
yes,
something.
Kevin Keister, fantastic season. He struggled against Slasianum in the regular season game. Got shelled for 12 runs in 3 innings. He came back in that semifinal game, shut that Slasianum offense, who Mike can attest to, had a fantastic season offensively. He shut them down to 1 run in the semifinals. He'll be back next year to lead that Caravel team. It seems like every year Caravel baseball team's in the finals. You can pencil it in. And next year it's like he's going to be the main reason to see if he can pencil them in again.
I'm trying to see what happened to my notes here. I must have cut them off. So I'm going to give you, these are names that are pretty obvious. Don Velasquez from Dover.
Okay,
I watched him this morning. He was dominant, just an unbelievable talent. And then I'm hoping that this kid from Slasianum makes an imprint. Brian Lang, my nephew. Hope he makes it into varsity next year, so I can go watch some games. I saw him play JV this year, but I hope Brian gets into varsity and gets some playing time for the Sows. And I wanted to mention also, I mentioned Mike Torres, Cal Scott over at Hodgson. We talked about them before. They started out like 1-8, and he really turned things around. And Cal's got some great talent at Hodgson. Obviously, they bought into what he's selling.
Yeah.
And so I expect Hodgson to be right back there next year.
Absolutely. For sure. And I guess that's going to wrap up our baseball segment here. Special congratulations to Appoquinimink, your undefeated state champs, and again, the first time since 1999. So special congratulations to them. Well, that wraps up our spring sports. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to go over the results of our preliminary, voting for our fan awards. Again, thanks for everyone who voted out there. We really appreciate it. We also have some college news to go over, and even better, we've got our best segment, Top 10 Plays. All of that coming up after this short break right here on 302 Spoons. Preliminary.
Honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroup.re.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations, from Lowest, Delaware to Fenwick Island.
2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. To Delaware in 1979 with one focus: wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image, you envision.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to 302 Sports Weekly here at the Buffalo Wild Wings Christiana location, our second to last show of season number 2, fellas. Can you believe that? It's our
I know,
second
it's hard,
season.
it's hard to believe that it's almost over.
I know.
Only one more show. But hey, guess what? In 8 weeks, we'll be back to do it, getting ready for some football, field hockey, soccer, and volleyball.
Absolutely. And, before we went to break, Nick alluded to our preliminary.
The L's keep coming on this side of the table.
Our preliminary, matchups, fan votes going on right now. You can find both on both our website and also our Twitter feed. Go on there. You're going to vote for players of the season in all fall, winter, and of course spring. And you're going to do teams of the season as well. Fall, winter, and spring. There's a lot of choices on there. Get on there and vote. And then eventually what's going to happen is once a winner is determined, again, keep an eye out on our social media, on our website, and then there will be a final vote before next week's show where we will recap the results and crown our fan-voted players and teams of each season. So keep an eye out on that, and please go out there and vote. Go out there and vote. So now, Nick, we're going to transition into a couple young Delaware athletes that they saw in a tremendous honor, the 2019 MLB Draft. They actually got their names selected, Nick. 3 elite baseball players drafted in this year's draft, and they're going to start with a tremendous guy here that was drafted by the Red Sox.
Yep, and we talked about Calvin Scott, one of his guys at Odds in the Delaware baseball program, and also the Delaware baseball program had its 4th pitcher in 5 years selected. That's very significant as well. In the MLB Draft on Wednesday, it was junior Brandon Walters, had his name called in the 26th round by the Boston Red Sox. He became the 4th pitcher in Delaware history to strike out 100-plus batters in a single season in his junior campaign, punching out 106 batters, and he sits 3rd all-time in career strikeouts with 252. A great performance from him all year long, and a special congratulations to him, and a dream come true for him, I'm sure. And again, congratulations, and now on to number 2 as well here, Pat.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Walter, 230 career innings, a 3.6 ERA.
Wow.
37. He started all 37 of his appearances, double-digit strikeout performances 5 times in his junior season alone, and he had 12 strikeouts twice throughout the season. So the redshirt junior does have 1 year left. He could go back to UD. We'll wait and see what happens. But like you said, Nick, Delaware State also had a pitcher drafted there. Left-handed pitcher Garrett Lawson, graduate of Dover, who's selected by the Los Angeles Angels. Going to go out there and see Mike Trout potentially in the 19th round of the MLB Draft. Three-time MEAC Pitcher of the Week, also went 7-3 with a 1.85 ERA during the 2019 season. He led the league with a 196 opponent batting average and also was tied for the conference high with 97 strikeouts. That was an average of 11.2 Ks per 9 innings during the regular season. His career high, 14 strikeouts in 7 innings, were in a 2-hit, 10-0 victory over Coppin State on April 12th. And then he backed it up with a 10 strikeout performance, no walks, in a 14-0 win against Norfolk State a few weeks later on April 27th. And then his third impressive performance was not allowing an earned run while striking out 9 in 8 innings of work in a 5-1 victory over Coppin State on March 22nd. So congratulations to Garrett as well. And one more guy.
So 3 players from Delaware again, and to round it out, we've got Wake Forest Jr. Colin Palouse, who you might know from Middletown, as he was selected by the A's in the 9th round with the number 284 overall selection of the draft. 3 seasons in Winston-Salem down south. He had totaled a 14-11 career record with a 4.54 ERA and struck out 171 batters and 204 innings. He played a big role in the 2017 team, which won the Winston-Salem Regional and came a game away from the College World Series. He finished that season with a 5-1 record and a 3.54 ERA, earning 2 of those wins in the NCAA tournament against West Virginia and Florida, so big wins there. And then he followed that up with a 6-2 record and a 3.87 ERA in his debut in Wake Forest Weekend's rotation as a sophomore in 2018. And now to focus on this year, struck out a career-high 71 batters in 80 innings as the Demon Deacons Friday starter, and including allowing just 1 run in victory over a top 10 team in NC State at the time. And again, congratulations to each and every one of these players that had their dreams come true on the MLB Draft last Wednesday.
Absolutely. Mike, what was it like when you got drafted in the MLB Draft?
Well, I was in the 65th round, and I had to go to Batavia, New York. It's cold in Batavia, but they have a racetrack, so it was okay.
Oh, there you go. That's all that.
Obviously.
I had to retire. I threw out my arm.
So did I. It got in the way of me. Anyway, but there you have it. Congratulations, like Nick said.
Have you been to Batavia?
I've not been to Batavia. No idea. I'm lost. I'm lost at that.
Yeah, you don't want to go. It's cold.
It's cold. That's all we got. And as you can hear, the roar.
They love us here. They love us here.
Yeah.
That's the kind of cheers I got in Batavia. Just like
That's
that.
it. Just like that.
Just like
But,
that.
All right. Now
That's
it's
because they
time
know
to
what
move
time
on.
it is. They know what time it is coming up next.
It's the time that everybody enjoys our top plays of the playoff season here in the spring. And here they go. Starting with here, number 10, Julia Theuer with this RBI single. And why is this important? Well, you can see it's only the top of the first inning, Nick, and you might be asking yourself, why is a bloop single in the top plays? Well, about 7 innings later, we found out that that would be the only run of the game as the Smyrna Eagles right there.
Great job by the Smyrna Eagles. Now over to Appo and Lorenzo Carrier. Check this one out. This would also be a huge run in a big game. This is a double in the gap here. A run comes around to score. This would be a big-time run, give them a 3-0 lead. And that's all they would need, Pat, as they would go on and become the state champions this year. Undefeated seasons, first since '99.
Only a sophomore. He's a guy to keep an eye on. Logan Falconetti to Baxton Travers. Watch this play here. Behind the back pass.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? You talked about this young man in goal for Cape Henlopen.
he's something special.
He is something special.
In the sweatpants, I love it. Now over to Bradley Santor and Chris Wong. Some more lacrosse action. Nice reverse right there, spin inside. What a pass to the cutter, and he fires it in there for a goal. Making it look easy.
Chris
What a
Wong,
play.
a sophomore.
Here's Nicole Rankin. Yeah, you heard this right. 52-yard free kick right here. Sign her up. She could play in the NFL. Look at this. I'm going to go with the soft bouncing. Where's that at, Nick?
Oh, that's where Mama keeps the Thin Mints, Pat. That's where she keeps the Thin Mints. Nobody's getting that one. To number 5, Julia Koval and Ryan Mundy. Check out this perfect execution here on the, looks like a corner and coming in. Perfect header into the goal. Goalie didn't even see the ball go by. It was so fast. Nice header there. And good
Force, number 4, Gabe Dermott. Watch these plays. These were game-changing plays in a game
Absolutely.
where Joey Davis was struggling. That one almost gets by him. Look at this throw. Got him at second base. And this was not the only one. A little later in the game against Davis, outside. Look at it.
Right on the money.
Right on. I mean, you can't put it on the bag any better. plays are unbelievable. Joey Davis eventually escapes.
You think they'd learn, Pat, but they did. Now over to Brianna Halo. Check out this free kick outside the box. That is, woof, right over the goalie's head. You can't place that one much better. I'm not even sure Mom can put the Thin Mints up there.
Nah.
Now another here. Free kick. Deep, and again, almost identical spots. 2 big free kick goals. What an effort there, Padua. They're your champs.
Bend it like Beckham. Here's Adam Techman. Watch this nasty spin move. Put him in the spin cycle,
I love
son.
it.
Wow. And score it. Cape Henlopen defeating Slasianum not once but twice this year. This one was the all-important state championship game.
Number 1, here we go. Smyrna, we talked about it, going for back-to-back state championships. They put up 1 run in the first. Will that all they need? A runner on first here. Nice shot up the middle of the pitcher, Peyton Dixon. Great field, and they get the turn 2 double play. Look at the stretch at first base, Jason. Smyrna, they go back-to-back.
Unbelievable. What a way to end the game on a 1-6-3 double play.
How about that? So there you go. There's your top place. There were so many to choose from. In fact, we'll probably have some honorable mentions posted throughout social media, maybe on the YouTube page, on the website. So you're not going to want to miss those. Check those out. But tremendous spring sports season. We're glad you were here to join us to recap it all. And let's close the show out here. Final thought, spring season. Jay, Mike, go.
First, we mentioned it earlier, but so many great games this year. It's hard to name a few, but it was just a great season, great talent in the state of Delaware, and we were glad to bring you a lot of games, whether we live stream them or we're just there to watch them. And it was an exciting spring season and a lot of great state championships this year.
Mike?
So this morning I mentioned I saw Don Velasquez. I was at the Carpenter Cup up at FTR Park, Delaware South against Delaware North. Unfortunately, they had to play each other in the opening round. Delaware South, that team's got more arms than they know what to do with. They play Friday at 12:30 at FTR Park. If you can get up there, go up and watch them play, support the First State. That's a good team, that South team.
Yeah.
And then if they win on Friday, they play at Citizens Bank Park in the semifinals. It's all weekdays this time, but man, take a summer day off and go watch some of the local guys. Congratulations, South. They were unbelievable today.
Absolutely. Nick, what do you got for us?
Just want to reemphasize the competition we had here in the spring sports this year. A handful of sports, more often than not, that where any team could win it. Jay, you talked about baseball being wide open, softball wide open. A lot of these sports were wide open, where you had 5 teams that could really go on a run, and it was exciting to watch. And hopefully we have that rolling into next year as well.
Absolutely. So I'm going to close it out with, once again, get on the social media, go to the website, and vote for our players and teams of the season, both the fall, winter, and the spring. Plenty of choices out there. Vote in the preliminary round, and we're going to find our finalists before next week's show. Again, make sure to tune in to our season finale, so to speak, to recap everything and go over the winners of those competitions. So once again, for Jason Winchell, Mike Lang, Nick Alzadrini, Nick Halliday behind the camera, I've been Pat Garianis. We will see you next week here on 302 Sports Weekly.
Pray for 4. But right now we're going to head right into your favorite part of the week, top plays on the special teams end. As you're going to see Steven Williams. He's going to return this kick, and another great angle here you see. He'll catch it off the scoop, and he's taken off right down the sideline. Nobody can catch him, makes 2 men miss. Kicker can't make the tackle, and he is gone. Steven Williams, kickoff return. He takes it all the way. Friends get the win.
So it's the quality cam here on the sideline. It's awesome to watch from this angle, to be honest with you. And watch, whoa, going up. He went to floor 12. He left the person there at floor 4.
Miss. Crash back out. There it is, off the glass, the game winner. Unbelievable shot.
Crash the glass.
Late on the Saturday.
You might have seen this one before. Bang! Throws it right down the lane. Look at that quick elevation. Nobody bearing that out of the way, Jay. They wanted no piece of it. And then here's a different angle. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
How did he get off? Up in the